In 1984, a psychology professor spent 3 years going undercover. He worked as a car salesman, a telemarketer, a charity fundraiser, a door-to-door salesman, a waiter, not for money, to understand why people say yes. What he found became a book called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. It has sold over 5 million copies. It is required reading at every major business school on the planet. It was written to protect ordinary people from manipulation. Instead, it became the most used manual for manipulating ordinary people ever written. This is Robert Cialdini, and after this video, you will spot his 6 principles everywhere, every day, for the rest of your life. Before we get into the principles, understand what Cialdini actually discovered. He found that human beings do not make most of their decisions through careful, rational thought. We make them through automatic mental shortcuts, patterns that evolved over thousands of years to help us make fast decisions with limited information. These shortcuts work most of the time, but they have an off switch. And people who know where the off switch is can flip it whenever they need you to say yes. Cialdini called these shortcuts the 6 principles of influence, and once you know them, you will never look at a sales page, a political ad, a charity request, or a social media notification the same way again. Principle 1. Reciprocity. We covered this briefly in video 1, but Cialdini goes deeper. The rule of reciprocity states that when someone gives us something, we feel a deeply uncomfortable psychological obligation to give something back. This obligation is so powerful that in studies people felt compelled to return favors, even when they did not like the person who gave them something, even when they did not ask for the gift, even when the gift was unwanted. The Hare Krishna organization discovered this in the 1970s. They started handing out free flowers to travelers in airports before asking for donations. Donations skyrocketed. Travelers who threw the flower in the nearest bin still donated. The gift had already done its work. Free trials, free samples, free consultations, free content. None of it is free. It is all preloading the reciprocity obligation. Principle 2. Commitment and consistency. Once we have committed to something publicly, we will go to almost any length to remain consistent with that commitment. This is because human beings have a deep psychological need to appear consistent. Inconsistency is associated with instability, weakness, and untrustworthiness. So once a position is taken, the brain actively works to justify and defend it regardless of whether it is still correct. Marketers use this through what Cialdini calls the foot-in-the-door technique. Get a small yes first, then ask for a bigger yes. The small yes creates a self-image of someone who agrees. The bigger yes follows because people want to be consistent with who they think they are. This is why political parties, sports teams, and brands invest so heavily in getting you to publicly identify with them. Once you say, "I am a supporter," the commitment and consistency principle does the rest of the work for free. Principle 3. Social proof. We covered this in video 1 as well. But Cialdini's finding goes further than most people realize. Social proof is not just about following crowds. It is most powerful in conditions of uncertainty. The less certain we are about what to do, the more heavily we rely on what others are doing as our guide. This is why testimonials dominate every sales page. Why view counts and subscriber numbers are always displayed prominently. Why laugh tracks were invented for television. The most disturbing finding in Cialdini's research on social proof is what he calls the Werther effect. After a widely publicized suicide, suicide rates in the surrounding areas increased dramatically. People in uncertain emotional states look to the most extreme available social proof and follow it. Social proof is not just a marketing tool. It is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. and it works most powerfully on the people who most need protection from it. Principle 4. Authority. We are conditioned from birth to follow authority. Parents, teachers, doctors, governments, experts. Cialdini found that this conditioning runs so deep that people respond not just to actual authority, but to the symbols of authority. Uniforms, titles, expensive suits, official-looking documents. In one study, a man in a business suit jaywalking attracted significantly more followers than the same man in casual clothes committing the same act. The suit alone triggered the authority response. This is why advertisements feature doctors, scientists, and experts, even when those experts have no genuine authority on the product being sold. The white coat does the persuasion. The content is almost irrelevant. You already saw this in the Milgram experiment in video 5. The gray suit was the entire mechanism. Principle 5. Liking. We say yes to people we like. We buy from people we like. We vote for people we like. We follow advice from people we like. Cialdini found that liking is triggered by a specific set of factors: physical attractiveness, similarity, familiarity, association with positive things. This is why influencer marketing works at such scale. The influencer is not an expert. They are liked. And liking transfers. The most uncomfortable finding is how shallow the triggers are. People who simply share your name are more likely to receive your compliance. People who dress like you. People who grew up in the same city as you. The bar for triggering the liking principle is almost embarrassingly low. Principle 6. Scarcity. We covered this in video 1 as well, but Cialdini adds a dimension that most people miss. Things become more desirable not just when they are rare, but specifically when they were previously available and became rare. Restriction creates value. When something is taken away from us or threatened with removal, we want it significantly more than we wanted it before the threat. This is not just about limited edition products or countdown timers. It operates in every relationship where someone withdraws attention, every negotiation where an offer is about to expire, every political campaign that warns about what will be lost if the other side wins. Scarcity is not a sales tactic. It is a fundamental trigger of human desire. Now here's the part that should concern you most. Cialdini wrote Influence in 1984, before the internet, before social media, before smartphones, before the algorithm. Every single one of his 6 principles has since been industrialized, automated, and optimized by technology companies with billions of dollars and the behavioral data of billions of users. The foot in the door is now a like button that escalates to a share that escalates to a subscription. The social proof is now a real-time view counter designed to create urgency. The authority is now a blue check mark. The scarcity is now a limited time offer that resets every time you clear your cookies. The liking is now an algorithm that learns exactly what version of a person you want to see and shows you that version on loop. The reciprocity is now a free platform that you pay for with your attention and your data. Cialdini gave people the map. The map was then used to build the maze. Follow dark instincts. Because the next video goes inside the mind of someone who used all 6 of these principles without ever reading the book.